Hey guys, Ben from my NJ Local Homebuyers with another video. Anyway, so today's video I actually wanted to go over landlording, the exciting world of landlording. So let's say you want to own a rental property. You know, you buy it cheap, you fix it up, find a tenant, stick it in there. The next thing you know, you're profiting and sitting on Easy Street and collecting your mailbox money, as we like to call it, and that's that. Wrong. Unfortunately, there's a lot more to it than being a landlord. You know, there's the work required. So you got to find the property, competing against other, you know, landlords out there, professional guys that are doing this for a living. You know, if you happen to be doing this on the side, you got to buy right, not just buy it cheap. You got to buy right, manage the renovation to get the property up and running again, to get it rented, do it all within the timeline to get the tenants in there and manage the tenants from there. So there's a lot of work required. And there's also the dreaded 3 a.m. toilet clog phone call, you know, especially if you self-manage. So these are one of the major things that people forget about when they want to be a landlord. All they think about is, oh my God, I buy this house for this much money. I'm still netting, after I pay off everything, $200-300 a month. Woohoo, I made it. Or if you want, you know, you can go ahead and hire a property manager. Just like with anything else, if you hire a person to manage a property, you don't just forget about it. You have to make sure they're doing everything right by you and in your property, managing it, not just collecting a portion of your monthly rent and not really doing anything, not servicing your tenants, which are really your clients, you know, your customers. So that's two. The other thing, there's also the time involved now. Let's say you decide to manage yourself. You don't want to deal with anyone else. You want it's a one property that you have a regular job. You think you can manage it by yourself. So great, you decide to do that. Being a landlord is a business like anything else. You got to give it time. You got to nurture it. You got to take care of your clients, your tenants. So as such, you get that 3 a.m. phone call, clogged toilet. You got to run out there and make sure everything's okay. Tenant disputes. You know, Mrs. A does not like Mr. B. And next thing you know, they're constantly fighting. You essentially become like a little referee, you know, breaking fights and so on and so forth. That's two. The other issue would be cost. Now, in the rental space, you have cost of, you know, the property. You'll be competing against, unfortunately, guys like me who are buying these properties. You know, we do know what we're doing. We're professionals at this. And now you're not just buying one unit, you're buying 2, 3, 4 units. So the price obviously gets a lot more higher. It's, you know, 2, 3, 4 times the kitchens, the toilets, the electricity. You got to separate the units, make sure the tenants are paying for this and you're paying for that, make sure the water bills are paid and so on and so forth. So a lot of this, there's a bit added cost to that. So if you don't buy it right, you end up, essentially that property ends up costing you money every month. And that's something you do not want, because then the business is, you know, losing money. Lastly, there's the stress involved. Now, with this job, and my wife will tend to agree, you end up losing your freedom, if you will. So you become, you know, this is a business, you growing stages of the business. You have to manage it, your tenants or your clients. So if there's a need, you got to be there to handle it. You know, you can't really take off and go to, you know, take a month off when the kids are off at school in the summer and go to Hawaii for a couple weeks and whatnot. This becomes harder to do, so you have to have a lot more plan in place, even if you have a property manager, to make sure things are being handled accordingly, so you still collect that rental income every month. Because the one thing you don't want to do is have to take your tenants to court for not paying, and they show up and say, well, listen, the reason why I didn't pay is because X, Y, Z weren't being taken care of. Meanwhile, your property manager, who's not the owner, is sitting in the back saying, well, I couldn't get in. So he said, she said, and becomes a constant fight. And at the end of the day, you're losing money. So these are some of the major things that folks forget about with when dealing with rental properties. So if you find yourself in a situation like this and you want out, please give me a call. Numbers listed below. Happy to help and talk to you about it. I'll take the property with the tenants. I have no issues with that. I can deal with it. This is my business, what I do for a living. Happy to get you out of your bind and really discuss the situation. Again, this is Ben from NJ Local Homebuyers. Numbers listed below. NJLocalHomebuyers.com. Would love to help. Please give me a shout.